Do you ever feel like you've tried everything you know to try to attract new people to your church, but no matter what you tried, nothing is working, nobody's coming, and you're not seeing any growth? Well, it's probably because you're not focusing on the right things. And in this video, I'm going to show you what the number one thing is that you should be focusing on. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss out on any future videos on church growth for pastors. Hey, my name is Greene. I'm the founder of Impactful Pastors, and on this channel, I use the knowledge I've gained from building a six-figure business before the age of 30 to help pastors turn their small or struggling church into a healthy, growing church of 50 to 100 plus members. Right now, I'm actually in Medellin, Colombia. As you can see, it's a little church back here. It's super noisy here all the time, so had to take a little walk to record this video. But basically, I know that there's a lot of pastors that are struggling to grow their church. However, the pastors I've been working with are seeing exponential growth in their church by doing what I'm about to show you in this video. So before working with pastors, what I did is I was trying to create my own companies and my own businesses. I tried creating a clothing line. I did like a travel vlog, a travel blog. I did another clothing line. I had a social media agency. I had all these different companies that I was trying to create. That way I could have freedom, I could have money, and I didn't have to go get a job. Now, I would always focus on things like branding, like I had to have the best logo, the best brand colors. I would focus on sending out things in the mail. I'd focus on my website. I'd focus on my content. I was creating content constantly, like what's the best time of day to post, what's the right hashtag to use. I'd focus on having the best camera. I had like $1,000 camera. I was focusing on all of these different things, right? And what I found is none of those actually ever helped me get any customers or actually grow my business. So I was focusing on all of these things that people were telling me to focus on, especially on social media, right? Like I had to have the best quality content. I had to post content all the time. And I was really just burning myself out creating all this content and doing all these different things online, but none of them were actually helping me grow my business. So what happened was in 2020, so towards the end of 2020, I was really struggling, right? All my businesses had failed. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have any businesses left. And I had just moved to downtown Orlando where the rent was $700 more than where we were before. And I was like, I really have to figure this out before things get bad. And so long story short, what happened was I ended up investing in this coaching program, and there was people in there that were making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes over 100, sometimes over $1 million, and not a year, a month. They were crushing it, right? And so I started taking a look at what they were doing, and I started asking questions. What I realized was they weren't worried about what their website looked like. They weren't worried about what their logo will look like. They weren't worried about what time of day to post. They weren't worried about like the hashtags, any of that type of stuff. What all they were worried about every single day was, how do I get more clients? Like, these were people that were struggling just like me to pay the bills. And as soon as they started their company, they were like, I just need clients. What do I need to do to get more clients? What do I got to do to book more calls? What do I got to do to get more sales? And that's literally all they're focused on. And at first, it just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, well, I need to be creating content. I got to have a logo. I got to have a website. I got to have all these different things. And I was like, you know what? They're making as much money in a month as I used to make in a year, a lot of the times even more. So let me just follow their advice and let me see how this works, right? So I tried it, right? I invested in this program. I started a new business, and I tried what they were doing. I was like, let me just focus on the relationships and clients. And by doing that, I went from having failed businesses that had only made a couple hundreds of dollars, and sometimes maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a year, talking literally nothing, to I did over $100,000 in about 5 to 6, maybe 7 months. So just by focusing on clients, focusing on sales, I was able to do over $100,000 in just 5 to 6 months. So how does this relate to you as a pastor? Well, what I see a lot of pastors doing is they're investing in everything under the sun except how to get new members, right? So you have pastors that are struggling to get members, but they're investing in musicians, and they're like, okay, this musician is going to cost $200-300 a Sunday, which is like $800 to $1,200 a month, and that's just for one. Imagine if you get two, we're talking a couple $1,000s every single month. And then they're investing in these cameras, which cost hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. They're investing in podiums, again, a couple $100s, $1,000s, computers, software. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all these extra different things. And then what they're doing is they're crossing their fingers and saying, I hope that if I have a better camera, I hope that if I have musicians, I hope that if we have a better logo, a better website, that people actually come. And what happens is they invest all that money and then they don't actually come. Can you relate to that? Let me know in the comments. What's the most expensive thing you've recently invested in that you thought was going to grow your church but didn't? Let me know what it was and how much it was and if it actually worked or not. So what I want to show you next is Pastor Romanda. She's actually one of the pastors I work with. This is going to be a clip from one of our coaching calls where she talks about how doing what I just told you has really changed her ministry. So here's the clip.
I start seeing results with the program immediately once I started to apply these steps as far as connecting and going after the people, because I too used to think, okay, just preach some way, somehow, the word will get out and the people will come. But I was sadly mistaken. That is not how it happens. But when I met Dee and got involved in the program, I realized that my whole way of thinking and looking at church growth had to change. I had to go after these people. I had to connect with them. I had to seek them out. I heard somebody once say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I found that to be true. When I started reaching out to these people, I mean, and that's the business that we're in. We're in the people's business, for lack of a better term. But we're in the people's business. If we're pastors and we can't connect and we can't reach out and we can't move about around the people and show concern, genuine concern, then how are we going to reach them? But what I wanted to say was connection has been the key for me, connecting with these people, getting on the phone, talking to them. Even I'm finding that I'm building even stronger relationships with the existing members, which is causing more people to come out, and our services are starting to be full now as a result of connecting.
All right, so now I hope you see why it doesn't really make sense to focus on all these other things for your church, to just cross your fingers and hope that that's going to bring in more people, when instead you could just focus every single day on building more relationships, having more conversations, and from there those people will come in, and then you can use those people to raise the funds to do the other things you want to do, and then use those people to bring in more people. It just only makes sense. And so if you don't believe me, go ahead and try those things, invest that money, and then you can come back to this video and let me know in the comments how that worked out for you. But trust me, I can save you a ton of time. That's not the way to do it. You just want to focus on building these relationships. Now, let's say that you're like, D, okay, I know that I need to focus on building relationships and attracting more people, but I feel like I've tried everything and nothing I've tried has worked. What you can do is I'll leave a link in the description, and you can book a 15 to 20 minute call with me and my team. It's not a sales call. I'm not going to try to sell you anything, and we can see where you're at now, where you want to go, and see if there's anything that we can do to help you out. So you can see that link there, and then from there, if it makes sense, we can book another call, take a deeper dive, and see what type of strategies we can put together. So hopefully that helps. Book that call if you need more help attracting those people. Now, hope this video brought you a ton of value. If it did, hit the thumbs up button. Love you guys. Put that into action. Again, remember, every single day, focus on how you can build more relationships, connect with more people, and stop doing things to just cross your fingers and hope that it's going to bring people in, because that doesn't work. Love you guys. Talk to you guys on the next one.